Donald Trump goes on TV and he's telling the public that the government knows, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the government know that these crafts are not drones. He is telling you, read between the lines, the government knows that these crafts are aliens, alien ships, alien beings, spiritual beings, whatever you want to refer to them as. They are not human. They are from Earth, but they're from the center of the Earth, and they're from the ocean. This is what Donald Trump's trying to tell you. Let's jump into the video.
President Trump said, I canceled my trip to Bedminster. Remember, the drones were kind of around Bedminster. So watch what he said.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange.
Okay, so Trump just said it's not the enemy. Let's go.
Is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you shoot them down?
They're very close to Bedminster.
All right. If it's not enemy drones and they're not man-made craft, we've all established that. The sheriff's department has established that. The police, the state police, the FBI are saying that these drones are undetectable. I got to even catch myself. That these alien ships are not detectable. Trump is saying they're not the enemy. The police are saying these are not man-made. That citizens are not driving these ships. So what's the only option left? That's right. Aliens, demons, spiritual beings. I don't care what you call them. They're not humans driving these crafts. You're going to have to accept it.
I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Well, Guy, we know he is receiving intel briefings, but he won't.
He doesn't want to make a comment on it because he already knows it's classified. These beings already made contact with our President Eisenhower over 60, 70 years ago. Our government's already made contact with these beings. They have an agreement not to treat them as enemy combatants, to let them come and go as they please. That was the treaty that they made. And technology was given to our government by these beings for that deal, for allowing them to come and go as they please. Certain technology was given to the United States government. How do you think we became a superpower?
Comment on the drones in particular.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people for the last few days have been saying the government must know what's going on here or have a better handle on it than what they're sharing with us publicly. And then that's exactly what the president-elect just said. Basically, we know, and they're just not telling the public. So I think that will fuel some more discussion around this issue. You described the press conference, Kayleigh, more broadly as freewheeling, and it was definitely that. It went on for quite a while. I think it is appropriate for heads of state to respond to questions this way on a regular basis. He's not technically head of state yet, but kind of seems like he is, right? Given the absence and just the muted volume on almost anything from the current president. Even with the freewheeling nature of that, and it was definitely wide-ranging, you've worked with him very closely. I've just been an observer. It seemed like there was some restraint by his standards as well. He covered a lot, but not quite as much bravado. That was at least my impression.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. And, you know, Ainsley, one thing I think he does well is he gives Americans a window into the American presidency. I mean, I just think of some of the most horrific moments, shootings, for instance, that happened during the Trump presidency. And he would.
You know, Trump wants to get on TV and say, hey, look, they're effing aliens. They're not going to hurt anybody. Everybody needs to get over it. They're here, and that's it. You know that's what Trump wants to say, but he can't. Super highly classified You know that's what he wants to say. You could see it in his face. He's over it. He knows they're not going to hurt American citizens. He knows that 1,000%.
Bring in the victims and have these really emotional, raw conversations, and all of the country got to watch it.
Yeah, and he would pick up the phone and call the individuals' families of the young ladies who were killed by illegal immigrants. He would come out on the garbage truck just to prove a point that you want to call us garbage? Well, that's fine with us. We're proud to be a blue-collar worker. I think his messaging has been spot on, this time more so than the last time he ran. I think that press conference covered a myriad of different topics. That's so refreshing. We got an answer about the drones. He thinks the government knows. We're at a point now where we trust him so much because the alternative is a White House that lies to us about COVID.
That's not what he said. Why are you lying? Trump didn't say he thinks the government knows. He said they know, and they should tell the public what it is so the public calms down, lets them know they're not in danger as long as they don't engage these alien crafts. Like even Fox News, they gotta lie. That's not what Trump said. Trump said the government knows.
COVID, that lied to us about Joe Biden's health, that lied to us about the border being secure, that now we have an opportunity to trust a president. And when he comes in and he tells us, I support something, then I think more Americans will support him too.
And Morgan, a big part, no doubt, Morgan, a big part of communications is instilling public trust. And I think having this dialogue with the American people instills that.
Yeah, and I think what he had to say about the drones goes to instilling public trust. You know, after the Biden administration was not clear about the Chinese spy balloon, that's when people started to say, well, wait a minute, something's up. And so I'm glad that he was forthcoming about it. I also want to say, out of everything he said today, there was something really important and personal, I think, to me and so many others. He talked about the American hostages, and we still have at least 3 American hostages that are alive. We have other bodies there. I can tell you it was so important to President Trump in his first term to get the remains of the Americans home from North Korea. And he got more hostages home in his first term than any president in modern history at the time. So I know that it means a lot to him to get these Americans home. He said Hamas would have hell to pay if they didn't get them home by January 20th. And I just want to thank the president for that. I think that's hugely important that he has shown a light on this when this current administration seems to have forgotten and left Americans behind in Afghanistan and in Gaza and around the world.
And the question, the re-ask after that was, well, what does that mean, hell to pay?
Could you imagine that? Now we're getting off the topic because this video is about aliens. Trump, who's not even sworn in yet, is telling Hamas to free hostages or it won't be pleasant for you. As Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been the president and the vice president for the last 4 years, haven't even said an effing word and could care less about these people. If you're still a Democrat after this, there really is something wrong with you. There really is. There truly is something wrong with you if you still vote for a Democrat after what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done to this country. There's something wrong.